So welcome to Using Collision Volumes. In this video, I'm going to explain that collision volumes are also known as colliders. You may hear me use both terms. These tell the physics engine what hits what collides with what. A trigger volume, in contrast, just triggers code. And a collider actually has physics simulated on it, so it's a bit more computationally heavy. And we'll be exploring how to add collision volumes to things, basically to prevent players from passing through that door. So, by the end of it, we will have a room that you actually can't escape. I have a glass ceiling in, and if the doors are closed, then we cannot actually pass through them, bang. So we are stuck properly. Okay, cool. See you soon. So let's take a look at this. Of course, we can pass, not through the walls, we'll talk about that in a future video, but look, we can pass straight through the door. And let me show you how we fix that and use this video as an example of talking about collision volumes. Collisions are relatively complex in Unreal. There's lots of stuff going on. If we click, say, on the door and we start looking in the details panel down on the left-hand side here, you'll see you've got several sections. Transform we've talked about. There's the mesh, which we'll be using. There's the materials, which have got nothing to do with collision. I'll collapse that. There's the physics, which it is the physics engine dealing with materials, but generally the collision has been separated out into a separate thing here. And it's saying it's got a collision preset set, which is block all dynamic objects. Even if we set this, however, to block all actors or even pawn, you'll find that we still will pass through the door. Let's have a look. You see, we still pass through the door. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what we set this to, we're still going to end up passing through the door. So what we need to do in this instance to stop ourselves passing through the door is put a collision volume on the door. Let me show you how to do that and talk you through the collision volume system. So right click on the door and say Edit SM Door.
Hi, Sam here, just making a post-video edit to let you guys know that SM Door, the file that we're currently editing, is currently ignored in SourceTree because the whole of starter content is in fact ignored as well. Now, this does mean we're editing a file that's not going to be versioned, so that's a little bit dangerous. Just make sure you don't lose it. But in 10 lectures time or so, we are going to be going over this and making sure that it is back in version control. So just hang on until the lecture named Line Tracing, aka Raycasting, and then you will see how to sort out this problem.
So that's editing the door mesh. I'm going to maximize the ensuing window, not worry about the stuff on the right. And again, remember your Maya controls here. You can hit F to focus on this door, and then you can hold the Alt key whilst holding down the left mouse button. So I'm holding down Alt, which of course on a Mac is also Alt, and then holding down the left mouse button, which is a pretty cool way of going around this thing. Now, if you toggle collision at the top of the screen here, you'll see that there is no green stuff going on this door. There is no collision volume. So let's add one. There's lots of ways. It's got a pretty powerful system. You can add a sphere. And that's, of course, not what we want. We don't want the system to think that we're colliding with that door when we're this far away. So sphere is not what we're after. We can delete selected collision or remove collision, either way. So a capsule, what's a capsule? Well, that looks like that. That's pretty cool for players and characters. Players often have this kind of round feature at the bottom because it's quite good for going over slopes and bumps. Okay, so that's that, but we don't want that one either. What we, of course, we're going to use for a door is just a simple box collision. And the size of it, is it reasonable? Well, it's sticking out, I would say, a little bit far because of the handle. But as a first approximation, that's absolutely fine. There are other tools, pretty good tools here in Unreal, if I just show you them, that let you do things like this. You can go a 10 DOPX simplified collision, so that's not going to do much in this case, because in the x-axis, the thing is pretty symmetric, right? But you could look at how the different things work. If we do it in Y, you see that it's trying to match in the Y-axis a little. And then Z, again, tries to match. But it's offsetting and not working very well. So it's a pretty good system, this. There's all sorts of stuff you can do in terms of creating collision volumes that aren't too complicated. Collision volumes for performance, it's very important that they are not too many polygons. So if you ever run out of capability here with Unreal's collision system, then you can always create a customized mesh outside of Unreal, wherever you created your mesh in Blender or Maya or 3D Studio, and then you can import that collision as a separate issue. But we're not going to deal with that today. All we're going to simply do is add a box simplified collision to the door, and it literally puts a cuboid on the door and says that these are this is from a physics collision point of view where I consider the door to start and finish. Okay, and the benefit of this is if we were to use the actual mesh with all its polygons, I mean, think about the handle of this door, there's a lot of polygons on there, it would just slow the system down to a halt. It's quite costly as things move around at 100 frames a second, like in our case, to actually be working out whether things are overlapping and colliding, and then to simulate the physics. Because remember that these collision volumes are a step further than a trigger. They look like a trigger, but they are a step further because they actually get physics simulated. So it's important they're simple. That's really what I want to rub home here. Click Save, and you can close this window. Now that's, of course, edited the actual door mesh. So both of these doors are based on that. So what I would hope to find now is that we can't go through either door. And we are finally properly trapped inside our room, whereas previously we could get out. All right, so I have a little challenge for you. I just want to ensure you can't escape your room as you have it so far. Make sure there are no gaps in your colliders if you need to add them to anything. Test you can't escape over the walls or any other way. And if you need to, go in and customize your collision volumes. Just mess around with those settings. And as Einstein says, make things as simple as possible, but no simpler. So go ahead, pause the video, make sure that your room is truly inescapable. Okay, welcome back. So I'm just going to test my room, bit of play testing. By the way, as a hint here, when you play, you can hit the F11 key, F11, and that will maximize the play window, okay? And if you're fed up with seeing lighting needs to be rebuilt, you can restore, go ahead, pick a lighting quality. Maybe we go for medium to save some time. At least take it off preview. You see, if lighting quality is set to preview, then you get these horrible preview things all over your textures. And then you say build lighting only. Doesn't take too long. Well, doesn't on my machine. This is a 4 gig i7. It's doing it though. It's still building. Build lighting complete. Apply now. Good. Just going to stop and play again. Basically, you're better off letting the lighting build finish before you actually go into the game. Now, will you notice that those preview things have gone off? The lighting looks a little bit nicer. And the way to test this, by the way, the best way to test it really is to give it to a 3-year-old, is to just move around. Now, of course, you can get out this room in my case because I can get out the top of the room. So I really need to put a roof on here or to make this this pawn not a pawn into like a character controller. So I guess it depends on our strategy for this. Do we want to be a person flying around or do we want to be like a drone flying around? At the moment, we're a drone. And of course, I can go out the doors because we haven't got a timer on them. So it's entirely up to you whether you want to try and constrain your guy to the ground or let it fly around. But if you're going to stick with the pawn, which is nice and simple, it's naturally going to be able to fly. So the most natural way in an indoor environment to prevent it from getting out is actually just to put some ceiling panels on. So we'd go to the content browser and we'll have a look around and see if we can find something in architecture, like it's likely to end up being a wall panel that we use for the ceiling, or maybe we can find some glass or something like that. That would be pretty cool, a glass ceiling. Here you go. So let's try this glass window, bring it into the scene here, and then it's going to rotate it until it's flat. And then I'm going to use the translation holding down Shift so I can bring it up till it looks like it's level with the roof. And actually this would be a great example of using the quad view. So I'm going to go into the top right of the viewport into this kind of quad view here, minimize things that I don't need. And then I'm going to get myself scrolled around with the right mouse button so that I can see exactly where I'm going. So that looks like it's in line with the roof. Then I need to come to a top view to get it. It's tricky to grab hold of. I need to go back and select it in the 3D view. Here we go. There you go. Select in the right place. Now you can use the scale tool to actually scale this thing so that it's at least as big as it needs to be in order to cover the roof. You get the idea. This is pretty simple. So I'm just going to quickly move this thing around. Right mouse button to drag it around. Left mouse button to drag the transform. R key to go into scale mode. And you can also set the parameters in the details tab. That's fine as well. And then we need to scale in the other direction. Quite a long way. Zoom out. Oh, that's a bit too far. Doesn't matter if it's too big. It just needs to fit over the top here, right? So now we have a glass ceiling, literally. Let's have a look and see what happens. Ah, I can't get out of the roof. That's fine. It's a little bit strange diffraction effects with the glass there, but I'm going to live with that for now. I've achieved my goal of not being able to get out of the room, apart from the fact these doors don't close on a timer, which we'll deal with shortly.